with this particular quiz. Kindly open up your menti.com and give me answers. Any other attack that we have seen so far, you have to basically write about any attack you know apart from those 10 attacks. Any other attack which you know apart from the 10 attacks we have seen so far. Okay, kindly let me know your answers quickly, then we can start up. The code is 761176. Go to menti.com and enter the code 761176. Come on, quick. Okay, straight away, no. Think of some other attack. It should be different from what we are doing. Farming with a PH, not FA. Okay. Identity theft. Okay, cool. What else? Heart attack. Cool. We are talking about cyber attacks. Okay. Salami. Okay. Nice one. Insider attack. Yeah, well enough. What else? Come on, only 6 answers I've got so far. Insider attack. Okay, cool enough. What else? Eavesdropping. We have seen eavesdropping. I'm talking any attack apart from those 10 attacks. Password attack. That also we have seen. We have seen n number of attacks in cryptography and system security. Think of it and let me know your answers. These 10 are the top 10 attacks. Apart from those, also we have multiple attacks. Yeah, cyber stalking. Correct. Nice one. What else? Malware. Okay. Zero day exploits. Nice one. CSRF. Okay. Cross site request forgery. What else? There are multiple attacks, you know. This entire syllabus won't be sufficient to carry all those attacks, but still we'll try to learn about many attacks. Whale phishing, okay, farming, cyber stalking, zero day exploits, Sibyl, okay, Trojan, we have seen Trojans, okay, this will keep on going on and on and on. Okay. So, can we move ahead now? What is WannaCry attack? We saw yesterday ransomware, WannaCry, installing ransomwares on a system and then asking for some huge money in return of the data. It's nothing but WannaCry. The name was WannaCry. It's nothing but a ransomware only. And zero day exploits, I will explain about them later. So actually, अभी बोलूँगा तो नहीं समझेगा वो. Let's start the lecture. Afterwards, I will focus upon the remaining attacks. Okay. So now let's start with our lecture for today. I'm going to start with this topic, which is called as. Let me show you the agenda first for today. We are going to see 3 topics. Third one, if time possible, if time permits. First is threats and vulnerabilities. We are going to learn about the differences between a threat and a vulnerability. You might have seen in your yesterday's feedback form, I had given a question. Okay, so we are going to discuss upon that particular scenario. What exactly is a threat? What exactly is a vulnerability? And then we will see few demos on 1 or 2 attacks. And then I will start with the third topic, which is authentication methodologies. Okay, so let's start with this first topic, threats and vulnerabilities. First of all, have a look over here. Okay. as you all know, vulnerability is nothing but a weakness. So any weakness in a system, it could be any bug, it could be any it could be any weakness which can be exploited by an attacker. In technical terms, a weakness in the system, for example, the architecture of the system, the design, the implementation, any flaws in the algorithm, is termed as a vulnerability. Okay. Basically, any such weakness that might be exploited to cause loss or harm to the system or even harm to the human beings is called as vulnerability. Clear? Similarly, what is threat? Threat is nothing but the circumstances or the attack vector itself which has the potential to cause loss or harm. Try to differentiate between these two very minutely. Vulnerability is nothing but the weakness which may cause an exploit of the system. Clear? Similarly, threat is nothing but actual circumstances or the actual attack vectors which carry out the attack. For example, let me show you this particular diagram. You can see, assume this is a dam. Okay, I have given this example in the last semester also. It's very easy to understand with the help of this example. Assume this is a dam and a person is standing on the right side of the dam wall. Okay, there is a crack in the wall. Okay, so now tell me one by one what could be the vulnerability and what could be the threat. Crack in the dam's wall was vulnerability. Okay, let's see. You all give me the answers. What is threat and what is vulnerability? I want answers. Okay, so you can either type in or you can unmute yourself. Threat to life and crack is vulnerability. Okay, crack is vulnerability. Man is the threat. No, man is not the threat. Water might be termed as a threat. Over here, the water is the attack vector, right? The water flowing in the dam. It can kill the person, it can harm the person, right? Who is standing on the right side of the wall. So if the water level goes beyond the wall, or if the crack exposes certain holes in the wall, then what will happen? The water will overflow and go and it will basically overflow and kill the human beings on the right side of the wall. Yes or no? So you can think of it like this. After monsoons, basically to control the water level, dams are opened, right? So in this process, the nearby villages may get submerged under the water. So that is the threat. The water level might be the threat, and the crack in the dam wall is nothing but a vulnerability. Clear? Any doubts so far? If you're having any such doubt, ask me right now, because you need to make this point very much clear: what is threat, what is vulnerability. So, if for example, let's see over here, this is just a one-liner definition of what is threat and what is vulnerability. Then I will start with risk also. Threat. Threat is what an organization is defending itself against. That is what I told you. The actual attack vector is called as the threat. Over here, the threat was the water level. Clear? Similarly, in technical terms, we can call any attack as a threat. It could be a ransomware attack, it could be a DOS attack, malware attack, whatever. So any such attack is called as a threat. Whereas the vulnerabilities or the weaknesses present in my system, which could actually be exploited by any attacker for causing loss or damage to my system, could be termed as a vulnerability. For example, over here it's mentioned a firewall flaw. A firewall flaw could let the attackers enter into my machine. If by chance the firewall is switched off, or if in any case the firewall filters are not able to identify what exactly is an intrusion, then what can happen? It may let any attacker or a hacker enter into your system. So that could be termed as a vulnerability. Okay. Now, what is risk? Read the definition and try to understand what is risk and let me know. Then we can move ahead. Let me zoom it up. Risk. What is risk? The chances of occurrence of any particular threat, right? So basically, risk is nothing but the calculated assessment of potential threats. For example, right now, a particular software flaw is not a threat to my organization, but at some point of time, it may act as a threat to my organization. So, risk is nothing but the probability or the assumption that something in the future might convert or might turn into a threat to my organization. That is what we called as risk assessment. You all know that risk, there is some chance of rain today. We are predicting there might be rains, and due to which the match can get cancelled. So that is what we call in common terms risk, right? Similar kind of concept appears over here. Risk is nothing but the chances or the calculated assessment or predictions of a particular event happening in the future that may cause some damage to my system. That is what we call as risk. So risk is nothing but a summation of threat as well as vulnerability. So you can say that R is equal to V plus T. We take all the considerations into account. For example, we take all the and then we calculate whether this can act as a future threat. That is what we call as risk. Clear? समझा सबको अब तक? If you're having any doubts, kindly let me know. Okay. So let me see if I have any questions for you. Okay. Kindly answer this. Then the things will be very clear what I'm talking about. An outdated software is okay. Let the answers come in. Outdated software is vulnerability or threat. Oh, threat is creeping up now. It's 12 versus 35. Okay, let's see. Let's see who is going to win. 12 versus 36. Okay, one third ratio. 53 people have responded so far. 56, out of which 15 versus 45. Again, 1 is to 3. Who's going to win? Let's see. Come on, quickly, quickly. Hurry up. Only 62 have responded so far, out of which 16 is for threat and 47 votes are for vulnerability. Okay. So I guess I wasn't able to make things clear properly. Otherwise, this 17 also would have been counted as vulnerability. Yes or no? What is an outdated software? Is it a threat or a vulnerability? Think upon it quickly. Outdated software means what? It is having some bugs, right? It might have some bugs or it might turn into a potential threat in the future. Yes or no? Prajakta, how come it is a threat? Kindly answer me. Is it going to be a vulnerability or a threat? That is what I'm talking since last 15 minutes, right? Threat is nothing but the actual attack vector using which the attack is carried out. Over here, can we see any attack vector? No. Outdated software is nothing but a backdoor entry to the attackers. So basically, it is nothing but a potential threat. It is actually neither a threat nor a vulnerability. It should be counted as a risk. But still, what exactly happens over here is if we are talking about an outdated software, currently, if I am having an outdated software with me, anyone can cause any harm to my system in the future. So, what I can say is this is nothing but a bug or a vulnerability in my system, which is opening up backdoor entries for the attackers. So it could be, it is, so basically it is a vulnerability and not a threat. For example, if I'm talking about something like this in the next slide, now things should be very clear to you what I'm talking about. Now, WannaCry ransomware, it is what? Now let me know your answers. Now the things should be really clear. The actual attack vector using which we carry out the attack is a threat. The other counterpart is the vulnerability. Risk is not actually very popular in technological terms. That's why we are just sticking with threat and vulnerability. If we know about what is threat and what is vulnerability, we can get a clear picture of what is the risk. So I have only considered threat and vulnerability. Clear? So there should be a clear demarcation between threat and vulnerability. If the attack is carried out using an attack vector causing some damage to my system, that is a threat. For example, a virus could be a threat. But if my system has some backdoor entries, that is nothing but a vulnerability which is causing the virus to enter into my system. Getting it? What I'm trying to convey? Okay. So if now things are clear, let us move ahead with this particular topic in hand. Types of threats. What could be the type of threat? Basically, there are three types of threats: natural threats, unintentional threats, and intentional threats. At some point of time, you may unintentionally cause some kind of an activity which basically opens up doors for the uh, attackers to move into a system. For example, natural threats, unintentional threats, and intentional threats. I'm not going into detail into it. Let's see how to reduce the impact of threats on your organization. See over here, by these are the common attacks which we have already seen, which actually happen to the organizations. Okay, so these are the main reasons. These are the main reasons which actually cause the threats to prosper: unpatched software, social engineering, and improper password management. So unpatched software is a vulnerability which causes the threat. Getting it? This is how I want to actually clarify the things. Unpatched software or non-updated softwares are basically vulnerabilities which causes a threat. Clear? So that's it in this particular topic: threats and vulnerabilities. If things are clear, I could move ahead and explain to you few demos, okay, based on this threat and vulnerability in one of the attacks. Okay, shall I move ahead? Kindly let me know, or if you want me to repeat something, kindly let me know. Okay. Okay, thank you. So, is it visible? Kindly check this website. This is a localhost machine. I will show this code one by one. So I need some time for this. That's why I had stopped the previous topic. This is basically we are going to learn about a new attack which is called as directory traversal attack. Let me show you. It's basically an attack called as directory traversal or path injection attack. It is not quite similar to SQL injection or CSS or XSS, cross-site scripting. It is called as directory traversal. Have you heard about it? Anyone? What could be this attack? Directory traversal attack. No, no. Okay. Okay, no issues. So we are going to learn how this actually attack happens. Let's see. Let me go into the browser and show you. Okay, Tejas, could you please let the others know what exactly is this attack all about? Then we can start the demo. Tejas, kindly unmute yourself and let us know. I'm going to ask questions like this, so be prepared. Now he is not answering. You can use the chat box also, yeah. Allowing us to read other files or travel other directories. Okay, cool enough. So let me show you this attack and then you decide how dangerous it could be for us in the future. This is a website, a demo website created only for this purpose. I have downloaded the source code from the internet. I will give the link also. This is basically a website. You can see on the top, there is nothing right now. It has only 4 links: home, blog, forum, and about. So now if I click on any of these pages, clearly have a look over there on the top. Is it visible clearly? or should I copy and paste it on Notepad? Let me do so.
Visible, sir.
Okay. So एक बार देखो टॉप पे क्या लिखा है. Let me show you. Localhost, the complete path followed by question mark. Page is equal to home. So what is that page is equal to home? Any idea what we are talking about? This is the complete path. If I click on this home over here, it changes automatically. Similarly, if I click on blog, you can see this entry changes, as well as on the top, the URL also changes dynamically. Similarly, forum, and last, about. So what is exactly happening over here? Anyone, could you please explain what exactly is happening?
अरे सर यहाँ पे पोस्ट मेथड की जगह पे गेट मेथड यूज किया है
Okay.
यूआरएल के लिए. तो जो भी हम लोग सिलेक्ट करते हैं वो यूआरएल में हिडन नहीं रहता है, वो सब एक्सपोज रहता है. सो लाइक
Correct.
अगर यहाँ पे हमने यूजर नेम और पासवर्ड दिया होता ना तो वो भी यहाँ पे दिख जाता.
Correct.
So
So
hacker
you,
can
हाँ बोलो.
read it just from the URL.
Correct. So now if I'm talking about a directory traversal, how can it be used against the victims? कैसे यूज करेंगे? बोलो कोई. Very clearly explained. It is using get methods. We are not using post method. I have already explained it to you a lot of times that if we use the get method on the URL itself, the entire uh, description is displayed. For example, if I change something over here, for example, यहाँ पे ध्यान दो अभी. If I change it something like this, the forum page will open, right? So if I do some kind of a manipulation over here, I can get inside the directories present. How? Let me show the code first. A simple HTML code. It's having a menu. Okay. Over here, have a look. In the link itself, we are mentioning the page is equal to home, page is equal to blog, page is forum, and page is about. So all the other pages will look the same. Only this particular part will change. But there is some page present inside this entire web page which causes it to keep on changing dynamically. That is the index.php page. Okay. There has to be a PHP page also which is carrying out all the scripting activities. So have a look on this particular page. Forget about the comments right now. We'll discuss about the comments later on. Kindly look at this page, this web page, and tell me what exactly is happening. As well pointed out, this is the get method being used over here. So ध्यान दो क्या exactly हो रहा है. Inside the get method, we are passing a parameter, passing a variable which is called as page. Now, what is this page? ये page कहाँ से मिल रहा है? Any idea? What is this page we are talking about? Can anyone tell me what is this page? Right now we had discussed, right? From the get request, okay, but that is what I'm saying. This variable value कहाँ पे declare हुआ है? Any idea? This is what we are getting on this particular page index.php. But values कहाँ से send हो रहा है? Kindly let me know that. Yes, Kathy. Without signing up, we can browse such pages. Main program के अंदर ही हम लोग हैं, आशीष. Okay, let me show you. All these pages, home, forum, blog, about, all of these have this particular value. Have you seen it? That is what I'm trying to say from the beginning. I am passing the variables from the URL, right? So this is the variable page we are talking about over here. Okay. So if I set a value, for example, if I set the value of page as home, that home value will come over here. So it will be replaced with home, and that value will go over here. That page value will go over here. So it will be nothing but home.php. Whatever values I'm passing from the link, URL link, that is being copied inside this variable, and that value is passed on with an extension .php. So that is how the page home.php opens up. Similarly, if I enter something like a forum, that page forum will open over here. Clear? Now, if I send any value other than these four values, for example, other than these four values, what should happen? For example, let me type in ABC. This is an error, right? Because there is no file such as ABC. Because abc.php doesn't exist, so it will not open up. So basically, what is happening? This is a kind of vulnerability present inside my web server, which is allowing the users to interact directly with the URL. Getting it? What I'm trying to say? We should not allow the users to interact directly with the backend server through the URL. So, for example, if I make a change over here, if I again type home, I would easily be redirected to this particular page. Getting it? Now, just imagine if anyhow you know that this particular website is having some highly confidential information on the web server. For example, uh, if I talk about a very highly confidential information, for example, over here, let's check out. Let me go to the particular web server. Okay, this is the web server, and I'm having a folder called confidential. Okay, and there is a file inside it. If I click on it, suppose this is a highly confidential national security project, and it consists of top secret information which the government wants to hide. But if anyhow the attacker carries out any directory traversal kind of an attack and gets access to it, you can imagine how dangerous it could be. Okay, so let's try it out how we can do so. What we can do is, instead of home, can I write something like this? Now kindly let me know if you are having any idea how to do so, then I will show it to you. Just tell me what to do.
Confidential.
Okay, confidential, because the folder name was confidential, right? So over here the folder name was confidential. You have to go inside the folder first. Okay, so I will show it to you how to do so. We have to write confidential and then the entire path, that is confidential slash confidential.php. Can we write .php or not? Do we need to provide the extension?
नहीं.
No, because we already have it inside our code, right? .php अपने आप append हो जाता है. So we need to simply type in the path along with the file name. So we need to pass something like this, confidential slash confidential, and press enter. See how easy it could be to go inside a web server if you know the entire web server structure. This is only possible if you know what exactly is all about, what exactly is present inside the web server. If you're not aware of the directory structure, if you're not aware of the file structure, कितने folders है उसके अंदर, folders के अंदर कितने files है, then you won't be able to carry out such an attack. आपको try out करना पड़ेगा brute force जैसा. You're getting it? What I'm trying to say? Because if you're not aware of how many folders are present inside the web server, how many files are there inside those folders, then it will be really difficult for the attacker to crack into the web server. But on the other hand, if you're having all the information about such a machine, such a web server, then it will be really easy for you to get inside that particular web server or website. Clear? Now, how to protect our web servers or websites against those attacks, against such attack? What exactly we did is we traversed the directory. We simply passed the path over here and we moved inside the directory. Yes. Okay. I will not show this how we can carry out this in real life because that will be unethical. So I have just shown it with the help of this localhost file. So now let me know how to protect it. How can we protect our system against such attack? Any idea?
Using post method.
Okay, that is one of the techniques. But in case the developer is not willing to change it to post method, any other alternatives?
एनक्रिप्टिंग द फोल्डर्स, मतलब हम उसका हैश कर सकते हैं फोल्डर नेम्स को.
फोल्डर नेम्स को हैश करने से कुछ होगा नहीं एक्चुअली, बिकॉज फोल्डर तो उधर ही प्रेजेंट होगा.
बट सर वो हैश वैल्यू तो मिलना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा सर ना, हर फोल्डर की अलग अलग हैश वैल्यूज होगी.
मैं बताता हूँ कैसे. इफ आई एनी हाउ गेट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द वेब सर्वर, then hash value के साथ ही display होगा ना वो. So it will not be feasible because अगर मैं बताता हूँ पूरा demo देके बताता हूँ, if we actually get the entire web structure downloaded onto your local machine, then how the hashes will help you. One answer I got over here from Vikas, allowing only certain parameters. Correct. That is the only solution. If you are adamant on using the get method and you are not willing to move on to post method, what you can do is you can simply sanitize the input. That we have already seen in SQL injection. We need to replace the characters, special characters with Unicode values. Okay, similar kind of a thing we need to do over here. जो comment section में था वो अभी use करेंगे हम लोग. Check out. Simply uncomment these. I will share this code with you. What I'm trying to say is I am creating a variable allowed. This allowed variable will only create an array of these four values: home, blog, forum, and about. Apart from these, if the user enters any value, that page will automatically get reloaded to home. You're getting an idea what I'm trying to say. So in the previous case, I entered ABC and the website displayed an error. So now if I type ABC onto the web page, it should redirect me to the home page. Okay, so if I try the directed traversal attack now, what will happen? It will again redirect me to the home page. Why? Because we have mentioned only these four permitted values, that is home, blog, forum, and about. Anything other than these four values, have a look inside this. We have created a page. Over here, the page was simply get page and home, right? But now what we are doing is we are creating the page variable using this method in array page comma allowed. So it will first of all check the value entered by the user and then it will compare with the allowed variable. If it coincides with any of these values, then only it will be allowed, or else that page value will be nothing but it will be termed as home. It's simply like a if else case. If the page is falling in between these array values, then only it will be allowed. Otherwise, it will redirect to the home page. Clear? Any doubts? Let me show you the demo first and then it will make the things clear. Now I have saved my file. If I enter this again, if I reload this again, what happens? You are redirected to the page, home page. Okay, I guess uncomment. Yeah. If I enter this, it will redirect me to the home page. Clear? Now click any value. For example, if I enter ABC over here, like we did earlier, you check what is happening. It is displaying what is happening over here is I'm simply displaying what I am typing on the URL. It is not needed actually. You can comment this. Okay, what exactly is happening? If I enter any value other than this home, blog, forum, or about, it simply redirects me to the home page. For example, let me type something like this. Again, you see what happens. If I type home, if I type homes, single spelling mistake can even redirect me to the home page. So I've added one extra character homes over here. If I enter this, you again redirect to the home page. Let me show you. Now I am present inside the about section. If I click about, if I enter about instead of about, what should happen? I should again get redirected to the home page. Clear? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to sanitize the inputs. Whatever the user enters on the URL, we are restricting the user interaction. Previously, what happened is whatever the user inputs, that straight away went to the web server without any sanitization. Now we are sanitizing the inputs. Okay, we are cleaning out all the unnecessary input variables and stripping all the variables other than these four variables: home, blog, forum, and about. Clear? Any doubts? Kindly let me know if you're having any doubt, or we can I can start with the next demo. Okay, the last demo for today. Okay, so now the main thing arises over here is how to get to know about the folder structure of the website. Any idea? Can we clone a website directly? There are many applications available, right? To clone a website. How to clone? Any idea? Let me show you. First of all, try to understand what I'm trying to say. Why do we need to clone a website? Any answers? To know the directory structure. Correct. So let me show you a tool which is readily available on the internet. It's called httrack website copier. Yes, Kathy, we can easily browse the file directory. Uh, for phishing, we can also use, but right now we are trying to understand the directory structure so that directory traversal kind of attacks can take place. Okay, so what we need to do is I will share the link. You can download this from the website. It's called as httrack hypertext track website copier. So simply go inside that software, click on next, type any name, for example, demo1, and press next. Over here, you need to enter the website. I have entered a website. This is a website which is used specifically for testing purpose. We have already seen this website earlier also, if you remember. We have used it for SQL injection. So the same website I'm going to use, testphp.vulnerableweb.com. So if I click on next now, there are basically few actions which are possible. You can download the entire website. You can download the website plus questions and so on. So I'm selecting the default option, which is download the website. Click on next. Press finish. It will take few minutes to download. In the meantime, let me share the attendance link with you. Okay, I've already shared the link. Kindly fill up your attendance. Okay, now the website is already being copied. Now let me go to the mirrored website. Now you can see this is the website I'm talking about. This is actually the entire website being copied. So now what I can do is I can go to the location where this website has been copied and then check for the directory structure. Okay, so now you can go to the C drive. The default location is my websites. Okay, go over there, click on this demo1, click on this folder. This is the entire structure I am talking about. Now you can see if I try to access any directory inside the website, by for example over here flash, what I can do is instead of this index.php, let me try this flash. So now you saw what exactly happened. Now I got to know the entire directory structure of the website, and now I can traverse the various directories present on the website. Now you can verify your answers whether this particular file is matching with the exact directory. If I go inside the flash folder, you see the entire same file is present over here as well. So this is how we carry out directory traversal kind of an attack in real time, in real scenario. This is a demo website. You can use this website for testing out your directory traversal kind of attacks, but don't try this on any real life application. As I keep on saying multiple times, I will repeat again and again, don't do this on real time applications. Otherwise, it will be really hazardous for you. Okay, so I hope you got this particular topic, how to do such kind of an attack. Yes or no? Kindly let me know if you're having any doubts. Okay, so I would be leaving this lecture uh, 5 minutes early or 10 minutes early because I have another lecture to attend. So from next time onwards, let's join 5 minutes early for this Friday lecture. Okay, because otherwise it will be really difficult for me to jump between two meet sessions. Okay. Yeah, I have kept the same questions because yesterday also the topic was not complete. Today also this topic is not complete. The authentication is still left. No issues. Let it be the same questions. It's just for formality to check whether you are understanding those topics or not. Okay. So kindly fill up the form so that I can end the session over here. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me directly so the others can also know. You can ask on Menti itself. I have still 5 minutes left with me. If you are having any doubts, kindly ask. In the meantime, let me take the kindly don't leave. Let me take the attendance first. Okay. 93 present today. Cool. How to find loopholes? For finding out loopholes, you actually need to do some testing on that website. You have to carry out the attacks on the website, and then only you will find loopholes. Testing basically. So for that, you need the permission of the website owner. Otherwise, you can't carry out. Otherwise, it will be unethical on your part. You should not make use of bugs on any real life application or any real time website. Otherwise, it would backfire. The company would in fact frame a case against you. That you should be aware of. You need to take proper permissions, and then only you can find out bugs. In case you're opting for the bug bounty projects, then such websites are displayed. Such websites actually display that so and so bug uh, could be found out, and if you are able to find such bugs, then you will get so and so reward for finding out those bugs. But in general, don't try any of these attacks on our Indian web pages because they are very risky. So you can try out all those attacks on your local machine, and if you are successful, then try to find out some website not from India, of course. Indian government is very strict regarding this, so don't try it on Indian government websites, especially. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much. If you're having any doubts, let me know. Kindly fill up the Google form. Okay, so thank you. Let's end this session.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.